Okay, so just to answer your question, you want to find out or learn how to navigate from one screen to another. I know there's a tutorial there for you. Maybe it wasn't too clear, so let me see if I can make it a little bit clearer. So I will create a new app. That's it. There, click on the create button. I will just call it navigate. Navigate. Okay, navigate. Cool. So I'll choose create. So of course, you know yourself when you have an app, you want to be able to move from one screen to another. So this is just a small one now. You're navigating between two screens, but as your app grows, you're going to have more screens. You're probably going to have up to 20 screens, but let's start with this two screen now. Now, by default, once you have you create a new app, you will have just one screen, and that one screen is called screen one. All right, the first screen is called screen one. That's it there. So but remember, we want to move from one screen to another. Okay, so when we click on the button on screen one, we want it to go to screen two. So let's create another screen here, and this is the way to create another screen. You see the plus icon up there, you just click on it. All right, so that takes you to screen two. So screen one, I'm moving to screen one and screen two. But just to make it different, okay? So I'm going to give them a color. Screen one, I will give it a different color. Okay, so this is screen one. I want to give it, maybe I want it to be red. So I have screen one open there. I'll go to the property inspector panel of screen one. That's it selected up there. You can see that screen one. I'll go to the background color, okay, and I'll click on that, the color there, that's it there. I want to make it red, so I'll click on red, and that's it. Oh, it's so red. Let me change it to brown. Yeah, that's cooler in the eyes. Okay, so you can see now that is screen one. In fact, it's called screen one on it. Maybe I want to change it to a different name. For instance, I could just come in here. If I want this to change, I'll go to screen one up there. I click on this rename, click on that, and I'll call it page one. Instead of screen one, I'll say page one. Okay, I click on enter. So that's it, page one. Now go to screen two. I'm going to call it page two, screen two. That's it here. Now I'm going to rename it again. Come up there, I'll choose rename, and I'll call it page two, page two. So you see yourself, you can actually name your pages the way you want it, just to change the defaults. And so you can add more pages as you go. So let me give page two a different color. You can see the way it's highlighted here, blue. You know that that's the page you're at now. Okay, so I want to change this page two to something different. So I'm going to go back to my background color, change it to a different background color, maybe green. Right, that's better. Okay, so now let's navigate page one and page two. Now we need a button to be able to take us from one page to another page. All right, and the way we can do that is by going to the block section. This is the design section. That's where we are now. You can see it's highlighted. So but we want to go to the block section so we can navigate. So I'm going to go to page one. All right, then to the block section. All right. Oh, back to design section. I need to add a button to page one so that when I click on that button in page one, it will take me to page two. All right. So now I'm sure you understand this section already. So we have what they call the invisible components. Invisible component basically means whatever you place on this invisible components, you can see it. All right, whatever I put in here cannot be seen on the screen. Okay, so we are looking for a button. So I'll come in here, add components. I could just type button, B-U-T, even though I can see it there. But in case you're looking for something and you cannot immediately see it, you just type in that search box there and type the name there and you should see it there. All right, so that's button I'm looking for. So I'm going to click and hold down and drag. Boom, that's it there. That's my button. So I can work on my button. I can change the color of my buttons. I can change the shape, whatever. So let's see what I can do here. So I'm going to select the button. Now, again, that's the property of the button. You can see now it's called button one. You can give it a different name. You can give it a different name. In fact, I'm going to change it. I'm going to call it submit. All right. So I'm going to come in here. I'll call it submit. Submit. That's it. So the button is now called submit here. That's the name, but that's not the content. If I want to change the content, that's the text you need to change now. So I could come in here, I'll say, submit me. You see that? So the special name that you use to code is called submit, but the text that will appear here is different. Okay, so there are two things: the coding name and the visible name. So I'm gonna call this submit me, please. I'm just joking. Submit me, please. You don't write this one in the real life, okay? But just Please. Okay, submit me, please. I don't like the way the blue is now, so I'm going to change it. Maybe change it to cream because I like brown and cream. It looks good. So I'm going to select the body of the button. You can see that the background button is blue. I'll come in here. I'm going to change it to maybe something a little bit creamish. Ooh, what's close to cream? So I'm probably going to choose brown, but I'll not change it there. I'll just start clicking stuff around there. Yeah, you see now, that's my button there now, okay? I think it looks a little bit better now. But again, I don't like how thin the button is. I want to increase the size. What will I do? Probably the font. That's the font size. It's 18 at the moment. I want to change it to 25. Let's see how it's going to look like. That's it. It looks bigger now, okay? Now I'm going to go to the height. I want the button to be a little bit taller, and that's height. So that's it here. Okay. So I think I will need to change the height now. I can see the color is beautiful. So what I'm going to do now, I'll make sure I have this selected. I'll go to the height section. You see the height has different options here. You have the absolute, you have the relative. I love working with the relative. Relative basically means you're saying, okay, you want to put a percentage of the size of the screen. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to choose relative rather than absolute. So if I choose relative, it means whatever size that I put in there will calculate the screen size, and it will now be the percentage of the screen size. For instance, if I choose 50%, okay, right, I will now need to now say, okay, I want it to be, let's say 40% of the screen. You see that? 40%, because I chose relative size. Okay, so if you choose relative size, you just put 40%. Now that's too big. So let me say 20%. So it's calculating 20% of the whole screen. I think it's too big now. Let me try 10%. So I want it to be like 10% of, yeah, I think I like it that way. 10% of the screen. Okay. Then the width as well. I can come in here. I'll come here, change it to relative size as well. I could say, okay, how do I want it to be? I want it to be 80% of the screen. 80%. That's it. Okay. But you can see now that the borders, the radius of the button is curved, and I don't like it that way. It's too buttonish. I want it to be a little bit squarish. Okay, so that's the radius. Then I see 75. So let's play around with it. As you say 50, you can see the radius now. No, I don't like that one. Let's change it to 20. Yeah, I like it that way. So you see, this controls the radius of the button. Okay. Also, now let's add a little bit of border. I want the border to be like 2. Okay, that means the width of the border. Now I have 2 there, but I haven't actually selected the style. So you first of all have to select the style of the border, and maybe I want it to be solid. You can see that. Solid already, and I want that to be 2. So I could change it to 4. You can see the difference. Let's change it to 9. You can see that, so just playing around with that. So but let me go. I think what I'll probably like would be let's say 3. Yeah, 3 is okay. I don't like the color of the border. Let's see if I can change it. I'll go to the color. Remember, this is the border section, and everything under the border is all about borders. All right, so let's see what I can change here now. So I'll go to the color here. I probably will want it to be where's my design sense gone now? Ooh, okay, let's try. I want it to be, let's say, green. Ooh, that's awful. Purple. Ooh. I really can't find anything nice now to do. Okay, maybe I should just probably we'll just leave it that way. We're just playing anyway. Okay, so you get the drift. You see, I'm making my button look beautiful, but I think the text is white. I don't like it. Maybe if it's black, it will look a lot better. So let's scroll down and see if we can get a black text. That's the font. That's the text color is white at the moment. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change it to black or even brown. I'll leave it as black. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so this is just making the button look beautiful, all right? But now let's go to the big thing that we're looking for. We want to make, oh yeah, there's one thing I actually want to add to the button. I want it to protrude out. I want it to pop out. It's not popping at the moment. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to scroll down. You see that here under the font bold, I just click. At the moment it says false, so that means your font is not bold. So I can click on that to make it bold. You can see that it's now bolder. If I want it to be italic, I don't want that, but I'm going to switch it back again. Now raise, I want it to raise, go up. So I click on raise. Okay, now that's about that. So yeah, so I think we're fine now with the buttons. Now let's go to the block section. So go to the block. Okay, so now whatever you've added to the screen here, anything here, any programmable stuff like the button that you add here, when you go to the block, you also see this. So now we changed that button 1 that you saw in that other tutorial. You remember I changed the name to submit. Back here again, let me go back again to my design. I changed it to submit. That's this button is now called submit. So that is why when you go to the block section, you see submit. All right. Remember, I had changed my page to page 1 as well. So I'm on page 1. So that's why you have page 1 here. I have button there. So that's why you have button. Remember, so it's whatever page that you are in, whatever you have on the screen, you're gonna see it here. All right, so now I want it that when you click on the button that is submit button, when it's clicked, it goes to page 2. Now, when you click on this the submit button, you're going to see several options here. All the things that you see here, they're all properties of the button because I have button clicked. You can see that it's blue. Okay, so now the one I want to make use of now would be, okay, when submit, long click. Or when submit, click. So what I'm going to choose this first one. So I'll say, click on it and drag here. So this is now saying, okay, I'm going to put something here. This is my submit button, but I need to add what we call another control button to actually make the move. This is just a property of the button, but we need to also add a control, and that's the control up here. Click on the control up here and now say, okay, when the button is clicked, what do you want to see do? So you now say navigate to, click on that, bam, that clicks on it. So when you click on the button, navigate to page. At the moment, by default, we're on page 1. Of course, you're not going to say navigate to page 1 because this is page 1. Hello. So we need to change it to page 2. You see that? So you are in page 1, but when they click on it, it should go to page 2. That's why you have to change that to page 2. I hope that is clear. So now let's go back to our design. Okay, and now let's preview. I think we've done all the blocking. So click on preview. Ooh, it doesn't look nice, but that's okay. It's okay. We'll come back to it. So click on. That's it now. It goes to page 2. See that? I probably would have put another button here again. I will now say, okay, when you click on that button, it takes you back to page 1. Let's give that a go. Right, so I will stop my preview, back to edit, okay? And I think it was too small, so let me increase the size. So I'm going to go back to height here. Remember, it was squashy. Let's put it to 30. I don't know how it's going to look like now, but I'll just put it to 30% of the screen. Ooh, that's too much. Let's say 20. Ooh. Anyway, it's okay, but that's not the point now. But let's see what's going on. So now we're going to add another button here, okay, on page 2. So I'll come in here, drag my button, put it here. Okay, this time I'm not going to bother with all the bling blings, the decoration. I'll just leave it the way it is. But I'll call it submit to. It says submit to. Okay, the other one was submit, but I just to differentiate the button. So this is submit to, and I'll change the button title here. I'll say back to page 1. Back to page 1. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah. So now we're on page 2. We now want to go to the block part of it again. Remember what we did? Submit to is now here. That is because we're on page 2. Remember, I changed the name to submit. So I'm going to drag it when When submit to, what do? Go back to control and drag navigate and put it inside. So when button 2 is clicked, I want you to navigate back to page 1. That's true, page 1, because this is page 2. Okay, we want you to go back to page 1. All right. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So let's click on design and preview. Back to page 1. Submit, please. Back to page 1. So you can now navigate between both buttons. Yeah. So I see some. Now you see how it looks a lot better. I think when we increase it to was it 25% or 30%, it looks a lot better now. Okay. So I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.